Welcome to the Creatively Performing Arts Podcast. This is the show for anyone ready to get back to the performing arts. You want to sing, you want to act, you want to dance, you want to be creative again? Come on over. I'm Estelle. I'm a singer, actor, performer, beginner voice coach, and I am here to help you get started. You will find beginner singing and performing tips and hear empowering, inspiring interviews with artists that will help you push past your fear and your doubts about performing so you can finally start performing with confidence and singing and dancing and living creatively. You have gifts that you need to grow, use, and share, and the world is waiting for you. I want to be there to help you do that. So let's begin. Hi, and welcome back to the Creatively Performing Arts Podcast. I'm so excited that you're here, and I'm excited to let you in on a little secret, a little pivot. As you know, we recently had a couple episodes, part 1 and part 2 of my interview with Talis, and she was talking about pivoting, right? And pivoting is so important for us to recognize as something that will happen as creatives, especially because we will experience, different creative inspiration, and we refine our skills, etc., right? And it's important to continue to grow and to refine. And one thing that I've been working on refining even more is really how I speak to you guys, is how I'm able to really show up for you guys. When I first started, this show was all about like creativity in general and like being creative in med school and in a grad program and all that stuff. Obviously that has changed and it's become more focused, and then it became more focused on like being creative in the performing arts, or actually it was just being creative in general, right? And then it narrowed down to being creative in the performing arts. And now the more I've listened to you guys, I've heard, people coming into the Facebook group saying things, and I've been able to talk with some of you guys in voice lessons. And what I've heard so much again and again is about building confidence and singing with confidence and overcoming fear. And some of the episodes that you guys like the most, that I've seen the most listens and downloads for, are about like overcoming imposter syndrome and fear and self-doubt and all these things. And so I want to really cater to that, and especially to those of you who are wanting to do that when it comes to singing as well as performing in general. And a lot of you guys really want to start singing and do that with confidence. And so I want to be here with you along that journey, encouraging you, helping you. And so we're transitioning the show's title the show's title in order to really speak to that even more, so that people just like you can find this show even more easily, so that they're able to get the inspiration, get the tactical tips and tools that they need, get the support that they need to start singing confidently and living creatively in general. Of course, like there's still going to be the emphasis on creativity in every aspect in the performing arts, in dancing and acting and in songwriting in every way. But especially in singing and performing. And I really want to emphasize that. So I can't wait for you to see the new podcast art and the new title and the new like phrase subtitle as well on the cover art. It's going to be great. I'm really excited. If you're in the Facebook group, I'm going to post some pictures in there to see, just like to show you like ahead of time, give you a sneak peek at what I'm thinking, what picture I might use for the cover art. So join the Facebook group if you want to get a little sneak peek. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. And I want to get into today's episode because it's here to support you. Like today's episode is going to help you very practically, very tactically, as someone who is wanting to start singing. So I want to get into that. Oh, but also let me say, the studio is still going to be named Creatively Performing Arts. So that's not changing. So we're still keeping that. It's still Creatively Performing Arts, but the podcast title it's more specific to singing confidently as well as living creatively, helping performers and singers really build that confidence. So that way it can really draw in those of you who know that this is what you want, and yeah, but the studio is still creatively performing arts because we're focusing on singing, but also just performing in general. And I want to make sure that everyone knows that I'm still supporting you, acting and dancing and doing all of those things, as well as singing with confidence. But we're starting with singing because a lot of us really have that desire to grow in that area first and foremost. So, just wanted to clarify. Anyway, let's get into this topic about breath support. Okay, breathing, breath management, however you want to put it. It's very important for all singers, all performers in general, and actors. Actors, singers need good breath support and breath management when you are performing. And I would love to go through 3 tips that I think could really help you. If you're a beginner singer and actor, you're just getting back into it, you're kind of thinking about, okay, how do I sustain these long notes? How do I actually breathe properly? Etc. Here are some tips, 3 really simple tips that I hope will help you. And I would love to dig into this topic deeper. If you have any questions about this, like if this sparks any questions, just send me a message, email me at hello@creativelybyestelle.com, or you can also DM me on Instagram or message me on Facebook. And yeah, I don't check them as often, but I do try to go back and check just in case I miss any messages. So the first tip that I have for you is to breathe a low breath when you are about to sing or do a monologue, for instance. Breathe a low breath, also called like a singer's breath, right? The idea being that you want your externally, what it looks like is it's going to look like your stomach is expanding as you inhale. And what's happening is you're really just relaxing your abdominal muscles so that as you take in that breath, you're able to expand your stomach looks like it's expanding. Stomach being, that's what we call our tummy area. That's not really the anatomical term for that, but you know what I mean. You get it. The idea being that your abdomen really is expanding in a very easy, tension-free way when you take that inhalation, instead of taking a chest breath, right, where you are lifting your chest and your shoulders as you breathe. That is going to cause tension in that area, like in your shoulder neck area. And you don't want tension when you're singing or when you're speaking either, in a healthy way. You want to create healthy technique for yourself and establish that from the jump. So if you're breathing and you're raising your chest and your shoulders when you're breathing, that's not a low breath, okay? That you're getting air in, but it's not as deep in you're not really breathing using your lungs in the best way. Like, you're not allowing the most air to come into your lungs in that way, and it's also causing tension anyway. And we do not want tension. It will, it'll lead to your voice sounding a little bit strained, maybe breathy, etc. So you don't want that. So breathe a low breath. If you have any questions about like, okay, how do I do that? That's something you could definitely work on in a voice lesson with any teacher that you have. Even if you're an actor, like I'm sure your directors would be able to help you out with that too. Come try a voice lesson with me. I'm still doing some free discovery calls. You go to my website, it describes it there, but you can just email me if you would like to do a quick like intro tryout voice lesson before you commit to a full one. And we can actually work on this in lessons. But the idea being, make sure that you just relax your abdomen and inhale. And then as you exhale, then you will make sure that as you're exhaling, you're not going to like clench your abs, but you're going to let them kind of like, you're going to activate them as if you're doing like a sit-up kind of. You're going to activate them as you're exhaling so that you get that support as you exhale, singing your song or saying whatever words you're saying in your monologue, etc. But the important thing is to take that nice, low, easy, tension-free breath. Go ahead and try it right now. Everyone, let's do it all together now, class. Okay? Let's take a low breath. Everyone take a deep breath in. And you are expanding, gently expanding your abdomen. Okay? You should, if you put your hand on your tummy, you should feel it growing. Okay? And then as you exhale, you can slowly start to kind of activate those abdomen muscles. And it's hard to do it like just on a breath. But if you were like singing a phrase, for instance, if I take a deep breath in, a low breath, and I do low breath, and then I go as I'm doing that I'm not just releasing it all at once. I'm not just doing and if I do that, then that's not actually giving me the support that I need. Rather, if I am as I'm releasing the air and singing that note, I'm activating my abdomen. Right, and so as I was releasing that, my abdomen was activated to help me sing that note while also giving me support so that I could continue to sing and hold it out, if that makes sense. So anyway, the most important thing to take away is to breathe a low breath, okay? Everything else, we can talk about that another time. This is just beginner level. Breathe a low breath. Take that nice, easy inhalation. The second thing that I would say is to note the places in a song or a monologue where you tend to run out of air and prepare ahead of time, right? You need to practice ahead of time. So when you think about a performance or you're preparing for an audition, you're working on a song, you're working on the monologue, you know where you're going to run out of air. You've practiced it. Note those places where I tend to run out of air right before I sing this phrase, or when I'm singing this phrase, or when I'm holding out this note, I tend to waver on this note. Note that so that you can go back and practice how you're going to take in air before you sing that note, how you're going to take in air before you start that phrase in a way that feels natural. And that way you go back and you practice it again and again. You already have it in place in your mind, your body already knows that you're taking that breath there. You've practiced it. So that way when it comes time for the audition or the performance, or even if you're preparing for a rehearsal and you just want to have it, prepared ahead of time, when it comes time to do that monologue or sing that song, you already have practiced it and you already know exactly where you're going to breathe, how you're going to breathe, how quickly you have to take that breath because you've thought ahead of time. So note the places in a song or a monologue where you tend to run out of air and prepare ahead of time. Make sure you practice that. And then the third tip that I have for you, if you are wanting to get better with breath support as a beginner singer and actor, is to do breathing exercises before you do any rehearsals, lessons, performances, or auditions. This is how you train your body to get used to, for instance, doing low breath or a singer's breath. It's not going to come naturally to you if you don't do it very often, but the more you exercise that way of breathing, the more second nature it's going to feel. It's going to feel more natural to you. So you have to practice. You have to do breathing exercises every time that you start to sing. Just practice breathing. Do a breathing exercise. If you go back to one of my episodes that I had, what episode was that? It was one of the mini episodes that I had. I talked about how to I actually did a mini breathing exercise with you, and I will put that in the show notes below. So go to that podcast episode. I'll put it in the show notes below. Go and listen back to that. You can do that breathing exercise as one option, or you can choose others. There are others you can look up online or ask your voice teacher, but make sure you do some exercises practicing proper breathing before you sing in a rehearsal or lesson or anything like that. That way you can get again that muscle memory. It can feel like second nature to you because you've practiced it. So those are my 3 tips for breath support for any beginner singer. Number 1, breathe a low breath. Number 2, note the places in songs and monologues where you tend to run out of air. And number 3, make sure you do breathing exercises anytime before you sing, rehearsing, practicing, auditioning, etc. Okay? I hope this helps you. I hope you feel supported. Pun intended. I hope you feel supported by this episode. Let me know if you have any questions. Come to the Facebook group and you can just ask them there. That way other people who have those questions can also, be helped. Also, come try voice lesson with me. Hello, we can work on this together. We can literally get into the weeds of it and really talk about how we can build confidence in you as a singer by getting some of the basics down, such as breath support and breath management. If you really need help with that, do a voice lesson. That way I can walk you through it and really give you that support that you need. Oh my gosh, pun intended again. Give you that support that you need. Okay, so go to creativelybyestelle.com to schedule a voice lesson with me. You can also just go to the show notes below where it says schedule an online lesson or schedule a voice lesson. I would love to work with you, and I know that I can help you really build confidence in yourself by helping you get some of the basics down right away. Okay, so let's work together. I hope this helped you. Go ahead and share it with any other singers or actors who you know could use this. If I say support one more time, could use this help, these tips. And I would love to know what you think about it. Of course, as always, feel free to let me know what you thought of this episode, and I will talk to you later. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode and to the show. I'm in awe of you for being here and showing up for your creative gifts. That takes courage. Don't forget to join the performing arts community on Facebook to find support and inspiration. If this episode helped you or inspired you in any way, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It means so much, and share it with someone who needs it, or on your Instagram stories and tag at Creatively Performing Arts. Don't forget to subscribe to this show wherever you listen. We have amazing interviews and episodes coming up. Thank you again, and don't forget to keep singing, acting, dancing, performing, and living creatively. Talk to you next time.